Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of When You're Delusional, You're Gonna Be on TikTok. I do hope you're gonna enjoy the video, so let's just get into it.
Here's the thing: men are not incapable of care. They have to be willing and interested to learn and grow. But the good ones who are trying really hard, the ones who went into partnerships and said, I want equality, and then aren't showing up equally emotionally or mentally in the partnership, those men are benefiting, directly benefiting from a society that convinces women that their needs are too much. Their needs are an inconvenience. Men are fully aware of what it feels like to be loved by having care provided to them. But our society teaches them that they're entitled to that care and not responsible for reciprocating. And so much of that emotional and mental labor, the planning, the organizing, the deciding how to ask, it's invisible. It's not seen as work. It's just something that happens. You are allowed to ask for exactly what you want. It is not unreasonable to expect your partner to show up in ways that you have expressed that you want to be shown up for. It might be realistic to understand the context of what our society has taught men and that they might not be as practiced anticipating people's needs. But if you express those needs and you are direct about it and they let you down, you are not obligated to make up the slack, to fill the gaps in the future. You get to decide, is this meeting enough of my needs? Your needs are not too much. Men are capable of care. Just because he shows up more than the other examples of men that you've had in your life doesn't mean that that has to be enough for you or okay for you.
You are allowed to ask exactly what you want, and I'm allowed to say no. It doesn't take a minute and a half long video to say pretty much nothing. It was nothing but a lot of words hiding the fact that no one wants to put up with you. Do you want recognition for the emotional and for the mental labor and for the deciding how to ask? Deciding how to ask is work for you. You pat yourself so much on your back, you must have some big biceps. In the end, it takes two to form a relationship. Nothing and no one is stopping you to ask for what you want. But stop blaming others for not being willing to give you what you want. The relationship that you want is about the two of you, not just about your needs and wants. You want to make it only about yourself? Stay single.
No, I don't hate men. But do I really dislike it when they feel entitled to my space? Absolutely. Do I hate that? Absolutely. Am I afraid of that? Yeah. And I'm sure if you've had a negative reaction to something a dude has said and you tell the story and somebody's like, wow, you must just hate men. He wasn't trying to do anything. That sucks for you. That sucks for you because being terrified of men is a completely valid emotion to have.
She's responding to this comment. Do you genuinely hate men or is this just a joke? If your videos make someone to post a comment like that, you either hate men or you understood that this is the content that is promoted on TikTok and you're posting this type of videos to get you followers, likes, and why not? Maybe you'll end up being TikTok famous.
So whether you know it or not, men as a whole collectively, not all of them, because there are some good men out there who are fighting for women, but as a collective, men have declared war on women. That's why they intentionally created the world where nurses and teachers and social workers and basically jobs that women mainly fill and get degrees for are being grossly underpaid and unable to survive off of one income, even with a degree. Especially if you're a woman with children, it's even harder to survive. They do that intentionally because most of the men in the world control most of the money and have most of the money, and money is power. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And obviously, men earn more than us typically and can get jobs that we typically can't get. So again, all the jobs that women mainly fill are being underpaid intentionally to either A, force you to have to be financially dependent on a man or live with a man, not by choice, or be in the shelter, I guess, or be homeless, or B, resort to doing work. Either way, these men have us in the palm of their hand. Men don't want to lose their power from the patriarchy. It makes them feel powerful. They don't want to give up oppressing women as they have all these years, and they don't want us waking up and being smarter and having the choice to leave them and having our own money and not being dependent on them, or thinking that we can have children and just walk away from them. That's why, if you notice, it's a common trend on all these podcasts to over talk about women's weight and women's fitness and women are lazy and just a constant go on social media over critiquing of women, bashing women, negative connotations associated with women. If you don't notice, when I go on Facebook, my entire friends list that are males, A lot of them post a lot of misogynistic stuff, which is basically just dog whistling.
She kept going, but I finally realized that I don't need to listen to this. I have you in the palm of my hand, and I have all the power for some reasons, and I don't want to lose all that power because you're waking up and you decide that you can live, have kids, and have money. You're telling me that all I had to do is keep you in the palm of my hand, but somehow I chose not to, but I still managed to keep you oppressed. Do you even hear yourself when you say stuff like that?
We are currently living in a day and age where men suck and women don't exist. The phrase old white men is thrown out to delegitimize any opinion a man might have based on his age, skin color, and gender, aka ageism, racism, and sexism. Is there any other group that we would be allowed to do that about? We are told that we live under a patriarchy and that men control women's bodies and that there's a wage gap, all these other things. But this is despite the fact that according to a 2015 Gallup poll, 56% of women with children under the age of 18 want a homemaker role. They're not forced out of the workplace. They just don't really want to be there. Most of the time when we're talking about the wage gap, it's not real. Women prefer jobs that are either part-time or will allow them to be at home with their kids. It has nothing to do with the fact that they are not able to succeed at work. It's that they choose not to go into high-powered careers.
And from the ones that do, some of them reach a certain age and decide that they no longer find fulfillment or whatever in those careers and their priorities change. Some of them no longer want to work 50, 60 hours a week in pursuit of that career. And the best part about it, and against this popular belief, they're free to make whatever decision they want to make. No one is holding them down, no one is forcing them into making a decision they don't want to make.
A lot of men aren't going to want to hear this, but men have completely warped the idea of provide and protect into something that is basically unrecognizable under those terms. The original meanings of words like provide and protect offer the idea of being in service to. That means men would be in service to women and children, providing for and protecting the life givers and the future of humanity. But under white supremacist capitalist patriarchy, men have completely warped provide and protect into a mechanism for control and dominance, and have made it conditional, providing for and protecting only what they have perceived ownership of, including women and children. And as a result, men provide for themselves and protect their own self-interests instead of providing for and protecting women and children. A lot of indigenous cultures know the value of providing for and protecting women and children, the life bearers and the future of humanity. But because of white supremacist capitalist patriarchy and the colonized mind, men who uphold these principles will only end up being abandoned by society.
Alright, well, this one knows all the words. I've been doing this for a while and I've heard all the words, but never like this, one word followed by the other. But again, if we live in patriarchy and I have all the power and I control the society, how exactly is the society gonna rule me out? I'm gonna be abandoned by society. You mean I'm gonna abandon myself? Yeah, cause that makes a lot of sense. And what exactly are those indigenous cultures? Give me an example. Is it by any chance one of those cultures where women are not bashing men, not screaming patriarchy, and not trying to shame men for their masculinity? Because if those are the cultures you're talking about, it's not gonna be a good example. It's really not gonna make your case. But then again, nothing will, so there is that.
I hate when men write in my comments, I thought you wanted equality. Listen, buddy. I don't have colored hair. I don't have pronouns in my bio. And I'm not fat. Do you really think it's me who's pushing an agenda and saying I hate all men?
I really don't know if you are or you're not, but what I do know for sure is you're not gonna be ready for the amount of hate you're gonna get saying things like that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is gonna be the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.